The trip to the west was initially just for relaxation, visiting an old friend and breathing the countryside air of northern France. But unexpectedly, a conversation over a glass of wine led me to a wild boar hunt the very next day. The West is home to dense oak forests with rugged terrain and ideal environment for wild boars. My friend, a local hunter, said that if we were lucky, we might encounter a whole herd within just a few hours. I was skeptical, but still picked up the rifle and joined in. And so the adventure began unplanned, but full of excitement and anticipation. Comment number 1 to join this thrilling hunt. Just a few seconds later, 2 wild boars appeared and charged across the path. The hunter's blood in me seemed to boil. I raised my rifle, aimed at the white one, and pulled the trigger. The first shot missed, but on the second, the prey couldn't escape. It rolled a few times before lying dead on the other side of the path. A pretty impressive start. I was sure that was enough to score points with the local hunters on my first time joining the team. Moving on to the pre-scouted hunting area, the team began to spread out to track signs of prey. I chose to lie in ambush behind a thick bush and waited patiently. 15 minutes of silence passed before another wild boar appeared. I quietly raised my rifle, waiting for it to come closer, but the animal must have sensed danger and suddenly changed direction to flee. Too bad for it. My barrel had already locked onto the target. Its sideways run only made it easier for me to aim. After just half a morning of hunting, I had already encountered several wild boars. Like the one I just shot, I took it down while ambushing on the hillside. From a distance, I could already see its massive shape. But when I got closer to check its actual size, still shocked me. It must have weighed at least over 120 kilos. Near noon, I finally got the chance I'd been waiting for, a confrontation with an entire herd of wild boars. Spotting their shapes from a distance, I immediately dashed to a hiding spot, stayed silent, and waited for the right moment. The sound of hooves crunching dry leaves grew louder. A lead boar emerged, followed by the large herd charging across the path. I couldn't hesitate any longer and started firing in rapid succession. The earlier shots seemed to have made the wild boars in the area more cautious, forcing us to keep moving. By chance, I spotted a small pond hidden in the dense area. A hunch told me to stop. And sure enough, just a few minutes later, a wild boar appeared by the pond's edge, calmly lowering its head to drink. I tightened my grip on the rifle, controlled my breathing, and gently pulled the trigger. After the successful shot earlier, the team gradually withdrew from the oak forest. We lingered at the forest's edge for a while, seeing it as a final chance to test our luck before heading back. And surprisingly, just a few minutes after waiting, a rustling sound came from the bushes right where I was ambushing. Before I could react, the wild boar charged out at an astonishing speed. My shot missed and the prey escaped immediately. That marked the end of today's hunt. Did this trip excite you? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling hunting adventures. The brief days in Greece brought me countless unforgettable experiences. One of them was a wild boar hunt in the Amaranthus Mountains during the cold winter. Here, natural predatory species are increasingly rare, causing the wild boar population to grow unchecked. I, along with a few friends, embarked on this hunt. From this experience, I understood why the Greeks still maintain the tradition of wild boar hunting as an indispensable part. After a simple breakfast, we hopped into the familiar vehicle and headed toward the Amaranthus Mountains in the western Peloponnese. It was the season when wild boars moved a lot, creating favorable conditions for hunting. Thanks to the snow, we easily tracked the boars' footprints. I followed the tracks closely, moving quickly because I sensed the prey was near. Do you enjoy hunting wild boars with a rifle? If yes, leave comment number 2. If not, leave number 5. And sure enough, a dark shadow charged down from the opposite slope. I fired in time, a clean shot. The boar fell and slid down the hill. However, I approached and fired another shot because in the forest, certainty is always the most reliable companion. Not far from me, Gilbert had also taken position, firing continuously as a herd of wild boars suddenly appeared. However, wild boars are not easy to deal with. They run fast as the wind weaving through dense trees like a maze. Despite Gilbert's efforts to keep up, aiming in these conditions was truly challenging, and in the blink of an eye, the entire herd vanished as quickly as they had appeared. After about half an hour of moving, we were nearing the mountain's peak. While moving, Gilbert and I noticed unusual movement from the nearby tree line. Hunting instincts urged me to immediately raise my rifle and pull the trigger before the wild boar disappeared into the brush, and with just one shot, the target was taken down cleanly. A quick, effective shot just the way I like it. Upon reaching the mountain's peak, the air grew colder and the snow beneath our feet thicker, but the sound of dogs barking echoed, reminding us not to stop. In a flash, a dark shadow suddenly appeared. Gilbert held his rifle steady and fired a decisive shot. At close range this time, the boar couldn't escape. The race with the wild boars became more intense than ever. Seizing every moment and opportunity, we continued the hunt into the afternoon. The hunting dogs stayed by our side, helping the team locate new targets. The snowstorm thickened and we had to move downhill for safety. We set up a small temporary tent and I sat waiting for my teammates to return. While sitting alone in silence, the sound of dogs barking and distant gunfire jolted me, prompting me to instantly raise my rifle. I aimed and fired decisively. The boar fell amid the heavy snow. I had completed an unexpected hunt. The rain stopped, and under the cloudy sky, I continued searching for the final targets of the day. Hidden behind some wild branches, I quietly observed the movement of a wild boar. Waiting for it to reach the perfect position, I gently raised my rifle and fired a decisive shot to end the chase. After the gunshot rang out, the boar fell, marking the end of this challenging hunting trip. The challenges we faced throughout the journey were not just about hunting, but also lessons in patience and determination. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Welcome to a brand new challenge. Today we'll spend a full 24 hours in the mountains facing the wilderness and tracking down the mightiest wild boars. With rugged terrain, harsh weather, and unpredictable challenges will we complete the mission. The outcome of this adventure is sure to surprise you. Leave comment number 1 to join us on this hunting journey. The wild boar population in France has significantly increased over the past few decades, with an estimated 1 million individuals. They cause substantial damage to crops and farmland, particularly in Brittany, where compensation for farmers rose from €185,000 to €455,000 in just 1 year. As a result, the government has encouraged hunting activities, leading to a notable increase in the number of hunters, especially women and young people. My hunting team started early in the morning, following the guidance of the OnX Hunt app on our phones. This app integrates digital maps, helping us identify legal hunting areas, analyze terrain, and track prey movement using GPS data. With this technology, we hope for a smooth and successful hunt. Following the app's guidance, we spotted a stray wild boar running frantically. Unfortunately for it, today wasn't its lucky day. As it charged past me, I fired 2 precise shots, leaving it no chance to escape as it rolled down the slope. With our tight formation, we quickly detected another dark shape. It moved cautiously before attempting to flee. However, our hunting dogs quickly gave chase and attacked, forcing it into the open. The boar resisted desperately, but all its efforts were in vain after a decisive shot. A while later, in a small valley below, I spotted another wild boar being chased by the dogs. Despite the considerable distance, I decided to shoot. Fortunately, my bullet was accurate enough for yet another successful hunt. In the more open, hilly area, my hunting companions led the dogs into the shooting zone. Following their barks, we scanned the thick bushes. As expected, a wild boar suddenly charged out at an incredible speed. However, with the reflexes of a seasoned hunter, I fired immediately. A precise shot took down the large, heavy boar. On the way back, we stopped by the roadside again, guided by the app. Another encounter with a wild boar unfolded. The boar, sensing danger, didn't hesitate to flee, making accurate aiming a challenge. I steadied my hand, but to ensure success, we coordinated and fired 2 consecutive shots. Finally, the prey was brought down. All the wild boars we hunted were retrieved, concluding a tense and successful trip. The next day, our luck seemed even better. This time, we took on a fierce herd of wild boars in a pristine wilderness area. The landscape featured rolling mountains covered in greenery interspersed with majestic rock formations. Within the first half hour, we spotted several wild boars. Panicked, they scattered in all directions, but our hunting team and dogs quickly gave chase and cornered them. A series of shots rang out at close range, taking down a few boars. The deafening noise heightened the tension. After the volley of shots, we were extremely satisfied with our results. We decided to tackle a tougher challenge, taking down wild boars on the highest peak in the area. This peak was extremely dangerous, requiring extra caution to ensure safety. A gunshot echoed through the mountains, bringing down a wild boar that rolled down the slope. The hunt grew increasingly intense as we repeatedly encountered boars. Fortunately, luck was on our side. With just a basic hunting rifle, my shooting skills were pushed to the limit and the boars fell one by one. At the foot of the mountain was a small valley with a stream running through it. The cool waters seemed to be a favorite resting spot for the boars as they loved to bathe and cool off. We carefully followed the stream, searching for signs of prey. As expected, wild boars appeared near the riverbank. We tracked their movements closely. However, shooting accurately in this area was challenging due to the many branches obstructing the view. I spent a lot of time chasing and ambushing a specific boar. Finally, in the brief moment it paused, I fired decisive shots, bringing it down instantly. Spotting a wild boar on the run, I quickly gave chase and cornered it against the mountainside. As it frantically tried to escape the hunting dogs, I fired. Another wild boar was successfully taken down. Though hunting boars may seem easy landing, accurate shots requires a high level of marksmanship. Fortunately, with years of practice and experience, I was able to make those critical shots. We ended the trip while it was still early. However, this mission is far from over, as controlling the wild boar population remains an ongoing challenge. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. While we face threats from nature, no one expected that wild boars have been silently ravaging Texas lands for nearly 20 years, causing immeasurable damage to agriculture. At the same time, invasive species are also devastating the land, spreading disease and threatening the survival of many plant and animal species in the region. Leave comment number 1 to join today's exciting hunt and explore these challenges. With their rapid reproduction rate and strong survival abilities, wild boars have become one of the most dangerous invasive species in the United States. They devastate crops, damage natural ecosystems, and threaten agricultural security as well as biodiversity. Traditional control methods such as trapping, fencing, or ground-based hunting have gradually become outdated, no longer effective enough to keep up with the rapid spread and explosive population growth of this species. Over the past 20 years, the damage caused by wild boars in Texas has reached $335 million, and this figure has increased by 60% compared to 2024. This poses a serious challenge, forcing authorities and communities to seek bolder and more effective solutions to address this growing threat. Have you ever imagined what hunting wild boars from the air in Texas would be like? What once seemed like a scene from action movies has now become a daily reality in many rural areas of the southern United States. Helicopter hog hunting, a strategy combining military technology and professional hunting skills, is emerging as a leading solution employed by many wildlife control companies and large farms to tackle the surge of this invasive species. Modern helicopters piloted by experienced aviators fly close to the ground at speeds up to 170 miles per hour. They are equipped with infrared camera systems, low-range radar, and night vision goggles, enabling quick detection and tracking of targets even in low-light conditions or when navigating dense and complex forests. Not limited to just target detection, helicopters are also equipped with advanced weaponry, typically AR-15 or AR-10 semi-automatic rifles, paired with holographic sights that allow hunters to aim from long distances while maintaining near-perfect accuracy. Within minutes, a helicopter can sweep over more than 500,000 acres of farmland and dense forest areas where wild boars frequently hide and breed. A precise shot from above can instantly take down an adult boar, helping to reduce pressure on invaded lands. In helicopter hog hunting, the Bell 206, Jet Ranger is the most popular, a standout civilian helicopter known for its high maneuverability, fast speed, and excellent stability when flying at low altitudes. It can also be fitted with additional hunting support equipment. Some companies use more compact models like the Hughes 500 or Robinson R44, which are not only fuel efficient but also capable of carrying 2 hunters and the necessary gear for a long-duration hunt. Helicopter hog hunting in Texas isn't a cheap experience, but it's certainly an incredible adventure. Costs range from $1,500 to $8,000 depending on the package, with upgrades like automatic weapons and night vision equipment driving the price higher. Despite the expense, imagine soaring over rugged terrain, armed and ready to take down invasive species with incredible precision. Would you be willing to pay for this experience? Agree by leaving comment number 2, or if not, comment number 5. Although Texas allows helicopter hog hunting as a wildlife control measure, the process is not a free or arbitrary activity. Only hunters with valid permits and approval from private landowners are allowed to conduct such hunts. This ensures that hunting activities do not infringe on others' property rights while adhering to strict regulations on wildlife management, environmental protection, and community safety. Unlike sport hunting helicopter, hog hunting is not aimed at recreation or harvesting, but primarily serves the goal of rapidly reducing the population to limit agricultural damage and protect the environment. Therefore, participating hunters must act professionally and humanely, prioritizing quick and clean kills to avoid unnecessary suffering for the animals. This requires high skill alertness and ethical responsibility from the shooter. A misplaced shot not only causes unnecessary harm to the animal, but also poses potential dangers to companions and the surrounding environment. From takeoff to landing, every process is tightly controlled from ground coordinators and pilots to the hunters on board. Weather, terrain, flight paths, target areas, and emergency response scenarios are meticulously calculated to ensure the trip is not only effective but also completely safe. Clothing and protective gear are crucial elements in this experience. High flight speeds, strong winds from the rotors, air turbulence, and unpredictable hunting conditions can cause both physical and mental fatigue, so thorough preparation helps hunters maintain focus and effectiveness throughout the journey. You should wear full coverage, durable clothing, high-top non-slip boots, and gloves to protect your body throughout the hunt. Safety goggles and a helmet are mandatory, shielding you from flying debris, dust, or impacts in emergency situations. A professional operator will provide detailed advice on clothing equipment and even simulate scenarios before the trip. Be proactive in asking questions and preparing thoroughly, as in an aerial hunting environment. Meticulous preparation is critical for ensuring safety and effectiveness throughout the journey. Would you prioritize eliminating wild boars that are destroying your crops or those that could spread diseases? This is just the beginning of a challenging hunting year in 2025, We'll address all your questions in part 2 of this episode, so don't forget to leave your questions below. Help us out with a like and subscribe to support our channel so you don't miss any updates on this hunting journey. A few days ago, I unexpectedly received an invitation from a friend in Texas to join a challenging wild boar hunt. But this isn't your typical hunt. It's an annual event for the locals where the best sharpshooters gather to take down massive wild boars, the sworn enemies of crops and ranches. Leave comment number 1 to join us on this thrilling hunting adventure. Wild boars have an astonishing reproduction rate. A female can give birth to 4 to 12 piglets per litter with 2 to 3 litters per year. After just 115 days of gestation, they're ready to welcome a new generation. Even more alarming, within 6 to 8 months, these piglets mature and start reproducing, creating an unending cycle. At this rate, within a few years, their population can grow exponentially, spiraling out of control, causing serious issues, devastating crops, destroying ecosystems, and even threatening humans and livestock. That's why annual hunting events are organized to regulate their numbers and prevent an uncontrolled population explosion. As our off-road vehicle rolled through the vast fields, the first rays of dawn illuminated the horizon. The moment we reached the hunting area, the dogs picked up the scent of wild boars and charged forward. We quickly raised our rifles, ready for action. Suddenly, from the thick bushes, a wild boar burst out at an astonishing speed. Without hesitation, we pulled the trigger. A shot hit, causing the boar to stagger before collapsing. A few other boars hiding in nearby bushes, startled by the gunfire, bolted from their cover.
Perfect.
But within seconds, gunfire rang out again and another boar was taken down. One tried to escape, but before it could vanish, a shot was fired. It all happened in the blink of an eye. After the intense opening encounter, we moved into a vast meadow where another herd was foraging. The team spread out, waiting for the perfect moment. The dogs barked loudly, signaling the targets were near. A group of 5 boars approached. I took down the first with a single shot. The second turned to flee, but before it got far, a bullet brought it down. The remaining 3 scattered in panic, but I fired quickly, dropping each one. Within seconds, all 5 were eliminated. Venturing deeper into the hills, we spotted tracks leading to a larger herd. The dense trees made visibility tough, but experience helped us quickly locate them. The first target was taken down instantly. 2 nearby boars had no chance to escape as follow-up shots finished them cleanly. The other hunters in the group also fired relentlessly. By the end of this encounter, 7 more boars had been eliminated. Staying in position, we moved cautiously, observing every detail. A sudden noise ahead put everyone on high alert. A wild boar appeared right in front of us. I pulled the trigger repeatedly, each shot hitting its mark, bringing it down instantly. The sun began to set, but the hunt was far from over. Continuing our search, we spotted a few stray boars foraging. Seizing the opportunity, we quickly attacked. I aimed at a boar hidden behind some bushes and fired a precise shot, dropping it on the spot. 2 others tried to flee, but they couldn't escape our sights. Gunfire rang out again, and we claimed more trophies. At a forested hill, we spotted over a dozen boars hiding within. Without hesitation, we took positions, weapons ready. In a synchronized attack, we unleashed a storm of bullets. The chaos sent the boars scattering, but within seconds, more than half the herd was down. Returning to the rendezvous point, we counted the total over 30 wild boars eliminated in a tense, challenging day of hunting. The hunt ended with a deep sense of satisfaction, but I know there are still many boars lurking out there, and the next chase is sure to be even more thrilling. The wild boar population is growing at an alarming rate, making population control more urgent than ever, especially as food scarcity forces them out of hiding, becoming bolder and easier to hunt. This is considered the ideal time for wild boar hunting in Europe. Are you ready for this? Hunt leave comment number 1 to kick things off. Hunters often organize large-scale hunts in wild forests and mountains, hoping to take down massive boars. And this time we encountered a true monster. It was larger than any we'd ever brought down before. As usual, with weapons and gear ready, we immediately began the journey. It wasn't too far, a mountainous area near where we live. We've faced wild boars at this location many times before, After being assigned the task and identifying the hunting area, we quickly moved to a high vantage point, an ideal spot for observing the entire forest. In the quiet stillness, a wild boar suddenly appeared. It moved agilely, weaving through the trees. We immediately pulled the trigger. The gunshot rang out and took down the target. Looking toward the opposite hill, a massive wild boar appeared, followed by its herd through the scope. With little time to think, we quickly raised our rifles, aimed straight at the herd, and fired. However, the dense forest terrain with thick tree canopies provided natural cover, making the first volley of shots less effective than expected. The herd quickly scattered, vanishing from sight in an instant. Undeterred, we swiftly regained our composure and launched a second attack. This time, things went remarkably well. 2 boars were hit, collapsing onto the white snow. The rest fled in panic. We immediately split into groups, following their tracks to continue the pursuit. Do you enjoy this hunt? If yes, leave comment number 2. If not, leave number 5. As we closed in on the boars, gunfire rang out steadily, echoing through the forest. Finally, the wild boars were brought down, scattered across the area. Realizing that manually searching each section was inefficient, we decided to use drones and hunting dogs to enhance our ability to locate prey. Within minutes, the dogs' barks echoed through the forest, signaling they had picked up the scent of wild boars. We immediately sped up to head toward them. As soon as we arrived, the entire team was drawn to a massive dark shape. It was an enormous wild boar. The chase was intense, but after a long pursuit, the boar began to tire. Its initially powerful strides became slow and labored. Seizing the opportunity, I quickly raised my rifle, choosing the perfect angle. At just 50 meters, a sharp, decisive gunshot brought down the colossal 200-kilo wild boar. While the team was still basking in the thrill of victory, a strange noise erupted from the bushes ahead. Suddenly, a massive wild boar charged out at terrifying speed. Instantly, I raised my rifle, aimed straight at the beast, and pulled the trigger without hesitation. Only then did we get a chance to approach. It was a colossal boar weighing 350 kilos. After that unexpected encounter, we continued our search. Occasionally, a few wild boars appeared in our sights. Unbeknownst to them, every move was being tracked. After crisp gunshots, boars of all sizes fell to the ground one by one. The next day, we continued the hunt. Moving through the thick layer of leaves was a real challenge. Each step was heavy, time-consuming, and drained a lot of energy. However, our persistence quickly paid off. Just past a cluster of trees, I suddenly encountered a large herd of wild boars. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle and fired repeatedly at the herd. After a hail of bullets, quite a few targets were brought down. While lying in ambush on the mountainside, I suddenly spotted a herd of wild boars moving hurriedly. It seemed they had sensed something unusual. Staying calm and observing, I waited for the perfect opportunity to strike. I pulled the trigger repeatedly, taking down the large boars in front of me. Exhausted yet exhilarated, we wrapped up the hunt with immense satisfaction, as this was undoubtedly one of the most successful wild boar hunts ever. Did you enjoy today's adventure? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling hunts. At my house, every nightfall brings eerie sounds from deep in the forest that send chills down our spines. It's the wild boars, uninvited destroyers, relentlessly ravaging our family's small garden. Today, I and a few friends have planned a nighttime hunt in a nearby wild valley. What will we gain from this hunt? Comment number 1 and join me on this thrilling journey. The heavy air seemed to signal an approaching storm, but it didn't shake our resolve. It wasn't until around 7:30 p.m., when thick darkness enveloped the forest, that the first wild boars began to appear. They were impressive in size, with thick dark gray fur and long distinctive snouts, always alert to unfamiliar sounds around them.
Look out, bud.
In the downpour, we quietly watched the pig approach the trap and cautiously begin to eat. Waiting for the perfect moment, I quickly fired at the pig in the most advantageous position. The gunshot caused the pigs to panic and scatter in all directions. I immediately adjusted the rifle and continued searching for targets in the darkness of the forest. Then a boar slowly stepped out from the bushes. I pulled the trigger. The gunshot dropped it on the spot. This nighttime hunt was truly wild. The rain made things tougher, but we pressed on, determined to take down the prey in our sights. 1, 2, 3. Luckily, the rain stopped quickly, leaving behind cool, quiet air. We decided to move to another spot, a large meadow nearby. In the pitch-black night, a herd of cattle rested, creating a peaceful scene. But not long after, we spotted something surprising. Do you see it? Not just one, but several massive wild boars standing among the cattle. These wild boars can weigh up to 200 kilo, and with their aggressive nature, they don't hesitate to confront other species. I aimed at the largest boar, gripped my rifle tightly, and pulled the trigger, taking down one boar after another. With each shot, we had to focus on firing accurately, ensuring we brought down as many boars as possible. The large, panicked herd scattered in all directions, making aiming more challenging. At the same time, we had to be careful not to mistakenly shoot the cattle. When the hunt was over, the ground was littered with slain pigs scattered everywhere. We quickly gathered the spoils, lining them up for inventory. Despite taking down many pigs, a large number still escaped, leaving us with some regret. Our goal didn't stop there. Have you ever hunted wild boars at night? If yes, leave a comment with the number 2. If not, leave the number 5. Determined to hunt larger wild boars, we climbed onto the truck bed, scanning the distance for prey. One of the weapons I carefully prepared was a speaker emitting a special sound. The realistic sound from the speaker not only piqued the pigs' curiosity, but also drew them closer. Look, a wild boar swiftly weaved through the grass, approaching us. It was massive, with dark skin and fur, its eyes glowing red under the light, though slightly wary. Its curiosity drove it closer. When it was within ideal range, I fired the first shot, aiming straight for its head. However, the wild boar didn't go down. The second and third shots rang out in quick succession. It still struggled and tried to escape. It wasn't until the fifth shot that I finally brought the prey down completely. The trophy filled us with immense excitement. Just kidding. What it seemed, this hunting experiment was far more successful than expected. Not only the sound, but the light from the spotlight also attracted more pigs. We continued our ambush, taking down a few more, all drawn in by the sound I created. This was truly the most novel and thrilling night hunting experience I'd ever had. It was late, but we persisted in our ambush, determined to take down a few more wild boars. The massive dark shadows leisurely foraged in the field, unwittingly stepping into our sights. Once I locked onto a target, I quickly fired. The loud gunshot startled the pigs, sending them fleeing. However, our group of hunters didn't let them escape. Everyone carefully adjusted their rifles, aiming to take down the entire herd. Precise shots allowed us to bring down several large pigs, a remarkable achievement. In the quiet night, we worked tirelessly to hunt the pigs, helping to reduce the damage they caused to local farmers. Yet as the night grew later, fatigue began to set in. We realized it was time to end the hunt. The gunfire gradually ceased and the pigs were likely too frightened to return. The hunt concluded with proud results, bringing the joy of a successful night. The final shot fell silent and the countryside returned to its usual tranquility. Despite the difficulties and challenges, our coordination and persistence helped us achieve our goal. It was truly a memorable experience, a wild but thrilling night. Thanks for following along. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel to join us for more exciting hunting adventures. See you on the next journey.
Kill it right there.
The situation in Mississippi is becoming increasingly severe as wild boars frequently invade farmland, causing significant damage. Cornfields, rice paddies, and other essential crops are being destroyed, posing major challenges for farmers. In nearby areas where agriculture is the backbone of the economy, the estimated damage caused by wild boars reaches up to 15 billion USD annually. Leave a comment with the number 1 to join us in exploring today's hunt and learn about measures to address this issue. It is estimated that around 600,000 wild boars are causing significant damage to both rural and urban areas. Local authorities are struggling to control the wild boar population, but this is challenging due to their rapid reproduction rate and diverse habitats ranging from forest to agricultural lands in urban areas. These challenges demand more effective and sustainable control strategies to mitigate the damage caused by this invasive species. As the threat from wild boars intensifies, residents have implemented various measures to control their population and limit their hiding spots. Dedicated teams have been established to monitor set traps and manage the wild boar population. These traps are often placed in areas frequently visited by wild boars. The traps are typically 10x 10 feet, in size large enough for boars to easily enter and become trapped. Made of sturdy steel mesh and designed with automatic gates that close once the boar enters, these traps ensure efficiency and safety in controlling this invasive species. This measure ensures greater safety for residents during the trapping and relocation process. With this type of leg trap, hunters don't need to use bait to attract wild boars, as the traps are placed in strategic locations where boars frequently pass through. Only hunters with special permits are allowed to hunt wild boars. To obtain a permit, hunters must undergo a rigorous training process lasting at least 6 months. Do you like this trapping method? If yes, leave a comment with the number 2. If no, leave the number 5. The Mississippi authorities strictly regulate the issuance of hunting permits and the use of traps to ensure the safety of hunters from wild boar attacks. In many cases, wild boars have escaped traps because hunters failed to check them after setting. If traps are not securely anchored to the ground or the clamps are not tight enough, boars can easily break free during vigorous movement. The traps used must be licensed and meet the standards set by Mississippi authorities to ensure effectiveness and compliance with safety regulations. Using traps that do not comply with regulations can lead to hunters having their hunting licenses revoked. Additionally, large steel cage traps are strategically placed across affected areas. These traps designed to capture multiple wild boars at once have an effectiveness rate of up to 85%. In areas like Inch, hundreds of wild boars have been managed through this method. Each trap can capture 3 to 5 boars depending on the size and structure of the cage, effectively controlling the population of this invasive species. Hunters need to check traps regularly, ideally 12 to 24 hours after setting them to ensure humane hunting practices and quick trap reuse. The trapping season typically occurs in autumn and early winter when wild boars are more active in searching for food. Trapping during this period helps minimize the damage caused by wild boars to crops and property, while better controlling their population growth in residential areas, protecting both the community and the surrounding environment. Nighttime is when wild boars are most active, so setting traps during this period increases the likelihood of capturing them. This type of trap not only helps reduce the damage caused by wild boars, but also ensures environmental safety, avoiding negative impacts on other wildlife. Thanks to modern sensor technology and motion detection devices, these traps can capture wild boars with a success rate of up to 80%, providing an effective and sustainable method for controlling this invasive species population. Using steel cage traps to manage wild boars in Mississippi has several advantages over using firearms. Over the past 5 years, this method has saved costs on ammunition and eliminated the need to hire professional hunters. Moreover, steel cage traps are safer for the environment as they produce no noise pollution, pose no risk to hunters, and minimize negative impacts on the surrounding ecosystem, effectively and sustainably controlling the wild boar population. With an estimated average of 20,000 wild boars captured annually through the steel cage trap method, this approach has significantly contributed to reducing the damage caused by wild boars nationwide. Hunters then collect the boars at trap locations organized by local authorities. This activity not only mitigates damage but also provides critical data for the government to refine management strategies effectively. Each year, Mississippi authorities also organize community education programs to raise awareness about the harm caused by wild boars and provide essential knowledge to avoid dangers when encountering them. Through years of effort and community education, Mississippi has established a robust prevention and control system leading to a more stable life for residents. Comment with the number 1 if you support the way Mississippi residents hunt wild boars using traps. Please like and share the video to gain more benefits in your work. Keep following for the next video.